All right. Welcome to Wednesday. Yay! Nice, beautiful sunny day outside. Looks like it's going to get warmer. Nice. All right. Oh, and I don't know if you can see, but my dog, he kind of blends in with the couch here. Sammy decided to join me today for circle. I don't know. He's a little tired though. He's just laying down. All right, here we go. Wait, where's my list? La 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 la. Oh, I think I'm gonna try to sing high again. I've been going high lately. Usually I sing like this. Not usually. At school I always sing it high, but at home I've been singing it low, like hello everybody, which is easier on the voice. But I've been trying to go high lately. It just sounds better to me, even though it's a little scratchy. Hello. That's high, right? We'll see if I can do that. Here we go. And a one, and a two, and a move the mic closer, maybe. And a one, and a two, and a. Hello, everybody. So glad to see you. Hello, everybody. We're so glad to see you too. Hello, to unicorn with a rainbow name. So glad to see you. Hello, to Shay. We're so glad to see you too. Hello, to nothing. So glad to see you. Hello, to Hikari. We're so glad to see you too. Hello, to Izumi. So glad to see you. Hello, to Princess riding a unicorn. We're so glad to see you too. Hello, to Sophia. So glad to see you. Hello to Francesca. We're so glad to see you. Hello to Shy. So glad to see you. Hello to Turbo Booster. We're so glad to see you. Hello to Baby Noah. So glad to see you. Hello to Neva, who sometimes is too McGee. We're so glad to see you. Hello, everybody. So glad to see you. Hello, everybody. We're so glad to see you. I can't go that high, but guys, that's a high C. Where's that? Oh, la, 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 la. Well, it's hard for me to hit a high C. Not really good of that great of a singer. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have books as usual. I have a new book today that I found in my pile. That someone bought for us for the school. I'm sorry, I don't really know who bought it because I just get them in the mail, and it doesn't say who it came from. It just is like an address to me from whatever this company is that makes the book. Excuse me, a little coffee there. And this one's called A Sick Day for Amos McGee. And, you know, if your mom or dad bought this for us and sent it to my house, please let me know so I can give thanks to whoever did that. And let's get started. This book, A Sick Day for Amos McGee, is written by Philip C. Stead, or maybe Steed, and drawings were done by Aaron E. Stead, or Steed. So they have the same last name. And Aaron is the kind of name that could be either a boy or a girl. So I don't know if that was a husband and wife made it, or maybe two guys. I don't really know. But anyway, they have the same last name. So they're related somehow. All right. And there's a house. I guess that must be Amos's house, possibly. Starts like this. All right. Amos McGee was an early riser. That means he got up early in the morning, like dawn, I guess. Every morning, when the alarm clock clanged, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for a fresh pressed uniform. So he has an old-fashioned kind of alarm clock with bells on top. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these, but there's bells. Ugh, that's hard to see, isn't it? There's bells, and when the clock hits the right time, it goes, and it's very loud, obnoxious. So there he is, ready to change out of his jammies. He would wind his watch and set a pot of water to boil, saying to the sugar bowl, a spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup. Interesting, he talks to his sugar bowl. And that's like a very old-fashioned stove there, making the hot water for his tea, I guess. Belly full and ready for the workday, he would amble out the door. So amble means basically walk. And he has a funny house. It's like there's really big buildings all around. I see like apartment buildings. And then his house is kind of stuck right in the middle, little cute little house. Very small. Every day, Amos waited for the number 5 bus. Next stop, City Zoo, the bus driver would call. 6 a.m., right on time, he would reply. That's Amos would say that. So he takes a bus. And I see, what? Oh my gosh, this is a cool book. I don't think I've read this book before. Look at what's on the bus. There's the driver. There's a balloon, but then there's a rabbit? What? Do you see that? Interesting. Reading up in the newspaper, it looks like. Amos had a lot to do with the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. So I think Amos is a zookeeper. I think he works at the zoo. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move. I did not know elephants could play chess. That's a pretty difficult game. Very complicated. He would run races with the tortoise, who never lost. The tortoise would win a race against the guy? He must be pretty slow, huh? Oh, and look, there's a mouse holding like a pom-pom or something, and then a bird holding a sign says, hooray! Let's see, and he would also sit quietly with the penguin, who was very shy. Oh, that's cute. The penguin, I've never seen a penguin like this. This penguin has socks, which is funny because I'm pretty sure penguins don't get cold because they live in the snow, right? You know what I'm saying? They live in the snow, so I'll see how they would need a socks in real life. And there's a red balloon. Is that in every picture? I didn't really pay attention to that. No, it's not. Amos would also lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose. Aww. The rhino has a runny nose, like a cold kind of, and he's wearing a scarf. Amos is helping him blow his nose. And at sunset, he would read stories to the owl. Sorry, got out of the picture there. At sunset, he would read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. Huh? I never heard of an owl being afraid of the dark because that's when they come awake. Interesting. One day, Amos woke up with sniffles and the sneezes and the chills. He swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back up again and said, ugh, I don't think I'm going to go to work today. He got sick. He got like a cold or something. And he's a funny guy, this Amos. He's got what do you call it? Bunny rabbit slippers, and he has a teddy bear. Interesting. Meanwhile, at the zoo, ... So now we're going back to the zoo, even though Amos is not there. The animals waited for their friend. The elephant arranged his pawns and polished his castles. Those are chess pieces. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up, getting ready for his race. The penguin sat patiently all by himself, just waiting. The rhinoceros worried that his allergies were getting worse. So now there's a pigeon or somebody helping him wipe his eyes out. And the owl perched atop a tall stack of storybooks, scratching his head with concern. Where is Amos? The animals wondered. So they're all waiting for him at the zoo. They're like, where's our buddy that comes and plays with us every day, right? So guess what? Ooh, what the heck? They looks like later that day, dot, 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 they're going outside of the zoo. There's the zoo way back there. And there's that red balloon again. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but anyway, here's the zoo back here. Here's the gate to get into the zoo, the entrance. They're going out of the zoo, going this way. They're leaving, it looks like. So it says later that day, dot, dot, dot. Oh, I love this kind of book. There's no words. I can't read this to you because there's no words on this page. It's just a picture. And I see the elephant, the rhino, tortoise, owl, penguin, and the balloon. Again, the balloon. And they are waving at this picture shows me that is the international, a symbol of a bus. So I'm pretty sure they're waiting at the bus stop. Can animals get on the bus like that? Like an elephant? I don't know. I guess they do. Oh, and there they are. They got on the bus. I guess in this town, wherever this is, they allow the animals to ride on the bus for free. Oh, and they got the balloon. The penguin has the balloon there. And so then they walk up into this place that looks like Amos's house. And he says, hooray, my good friends are here. So they worried about him, so they came to see, hey, what's going on, Amos? Are you okay? And they brought him a balloon that was just floating around. They caught it. The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. This time Amos is thinking harder. So they played chess on the bed. Then Amos said, I'm too tired to run races today because he's sick. He said to the tortoise, let's play hide and seek instead. So the tortoise hid inside of his own shell and Amos hid beneath his own covers. Cool, cool, hide and seek. Pretty easy to find a tortoise though. Or is that a turtle? Yeah, tortoise. Because if they're in the shell, you know, you look in the shell, there they are. Amos yawned. I could use a nap. The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. Aw. Achoo! Amos woke up with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief on the end of his horn. His handkerchief. They're being so good to Amos, right? They're really treating him well. I'm beginning to feel much better, thank you, said Amos to his friends, and he swung his legs out of bed. Perhaps we could share a pot of tea. So he's already feeling less sick. Maybe it's because his friends came and made him feel happier. And it looks like the owl is pouring the tea, and the tortoise is carrying the tea tray with the stuff on it. Amos wound up his alarm clock, and he said, it's getting late. After all, we have a morning bus to catch. So Amos said goodnight to the elephant, and goodnight to the tortoise, and goodnight to the penguin, and goodnight to the rhinoceros, and goodnight to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story aloud before turning out the light. What? Amos is afraid of the dark too? Okay. So they're reading to him. Aw, and they all slept overnight at Amos's house. But then also, the red balloon is floating away. I think that's supposed to symbolize something. I'm not really sure what though. I don't know what the red balloon means really, guys. But it's cool. Also, if you ever want to see a kind of an interesting film, there's a film called Red Balloon. It has no words as well. There's no talking in it. It's just pictures, and you have to just watch and figure out what's going on. It's pretty interesting. Let's see, how am I doing for time? Ooh, pretty early still. Okay, I think I'll go, what should we do? I think I'm gonna go with another book, and then maybe we'll do songs, like extra songs today. I have 3 books, but yesterday I did 3 books and I ran out of time. I couldn't do the, what do you call it? The goodbye song. Anyway, let's go with this book and then see how much time we have left over, okay, guys? So, this one's called And If the Moon Could Talk. Written by Kate Banks. Drawings done by George Hallensleben. What? Wait, Hallensleben. Hallensleben. I've never heard that name before. All right, here we go. Somewhere a pair of shoes lie under a chair. A window yawns open, and twilight blazes a trail across the wall. Twilight is another word for sunset, when the sun's going down at the end of the day. And does anybody see the shoes under the chair? I do. Right over here. Under this, what is that? A baby giraffe, maybe. I'm not sure. And if the moon could talk, it would tell of evening stealing through the woods and a lizard scurrying home to supper. Oh, cool. There's a lake and moon's coming up. And there's the lizard going home for supper. And now way over here, I think that's supposed to be a moose, I think. Someone hums quietly. And a clock ticks. And a light flicks on. Who flicked on the light? Must be this person over here, huh? That looks like a grown-up. That's a kid in their bedroom, it looks like. And if the moon could talk, it would tell of stars flaring up one by one and a small fire burning by a tree. What? Okay. I don't know. This is a very old-fashioned looking village with the square there. And over here, they're doing a pretty big fire right next to the tree, which seems a little dangerous to me, but I guess they got it under control. Papa opens a book and turns the pages. Ooh, that book has camels in it. A story unfolds like a banner wandering across the sky. Oh, and even it looks like the stuffed monkeys are listening to the story. And if the moon could talk, it would tell of sand blowing across the desert and nomads crouching by the dune. Oh, so this looks a little bit like the story that the Papa was reading to his kid. There's camels, and I don't know how many people still do this, but they used to do it. There's a whole tribes of people that lived in the desert, and they live in like tents and move around with the camels. On a small table sits a glass and a wooden boat and a starfish too. Oh, okay, now is that the same kid? Maybe. I'm not sure. This kid, yeah, it probably is, because that's like a baby, looks like the same baby giraffe. There's the boat on the table, and what is it? A glass and a starfish on the table there. It looks like someone's getting ready for bed, right? That's what it seems like. And if the moon could talk, it would tell of waves washing onto the beach, and shells and a crab resting. Oh, interesting. I wonder where this is supposed to be. So there's a crab. There's a boat turned upside down. I don't know why. There's the town and what do you call it? A bay where the boats are parked. Shells. I don't see shells. Oh wait, I guess those are two shells right there. Music chimes from a small box on a shelf. A mobile stirs the air. And on a chair, a rabbit sits listening. Ooh. So here's a mobile. It's like I don't know how you explain those. It just sort of hangs from the ceiling and they can move around, sort of. Then there's the rabbit listening, but that rabbit does not, it looks like a toy rabbit, but I guess it's listening. And if the moon could talk, it would tell of the wind rocking a tree and the birds safe in its nest. Oh, so this looks like somewhere where there's I like the style of painting. It's very, I don't know what you call that, impressionistic. This is snowy mountains, so maybe, I don't know, Switzerland or something. And let's see, here's the tree. Moving in the wind, can you see it? And there's the birds in the nest, safe and sound. Mama hands her child the rabbit. Oh, so yeah, it is going to sleep. She hugs her and pulls the blankets tight under her chin. And if the moon could talk, it would tell of a faraway den and a lion licking her cubs. Oh, so that would be far away. That's like Africa, lions, usually. Eyes close, and there is a drowsy hush. Darkness swells into a colorful dream. Oh, and this is the dream of the kid, I'm pretty sure. So in this dream, we have teddy bears riding on a camel. The rabbit also riding on a camel. I think they're camels, maybe. And the lizard is walking on 2 feet. This bird, I don't remember the bird being in the story, but there's like a kiwi kind of a bird and a lion. Cool dream. And if the moon could talk, it would tell of a child curled up in bed, wrapped in sleep. Aw, sleeping. And it would murmur. Murmur is a funny word. Murmur is kind of like talking quietly, like, hey man, you know what's going on, gosh, I'm a murmur, murmur. Anyway, it's murmuring. I have no idea what. Oh, look, I can see this though. In this town that we've been seeing, I think it's the same town. Look around, buildings, 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 buildings. Oh, there's a window, a roof window. And if you look in the window, who's in there? The girl, the kid in the story. So anyway, the moon would murmur, good night. Or murmur is like, good night. So we don't wake her up. And that is the end. Well, that's a cool little town. I like that town. I don't know where it is exactly, but it looks cool. Ooh, I still have a lot of time again. 10 or 9 minutes. How long do I have? Well, no, 10. Oh, okay. What are we going to do? I think I do have to do another story, I guess. Do you guys want to do, let me unmute you. Do you want to do another story or music? What do you guys think? Anybody? Bueller? You guys want another story or music? Story? Okay. Okay, I got you. I brought an extra one just in case because I could tell those were not super long. So I do. I have one extra book right here. I can't remember if I read this before. I might have, but it was a long time ago, so I think it'll be okay. This one's called Frederick. Pretty famous. Oh, here we go. There's my 10-minute warning. Frederick is written by Leo Leone. He wrote a lot of cool books. I think they're cool. Pretty simple. And I also like the style. It's like sort of like you cut paper out into pieces and just pasted it on. Frederick, Leo Leone. All along the meadow where the cows grazed and the horses ran, there was an old stone wall. It was a wall made out of rocks. And in that wall, not far from the barn and the granary, a chatty family of field mice had their home. They lived in the rock wall because there's probably like small enough cracks and stuff. And here they are. It's a whole little family there. I don't know what these are, berries or something. There's some ants crawling around. Butterfly. But the farmers had moved away and the barn was abandoned. Oh, no farmers, so that means not as much stuff going on. And the granary stood empty. The granary is where you keep seeds for next year. You can also eat it for like oatmeal or whatever. And since winter was not far off, the little mice began to gather corn and nuts and wheat and straw. They worked day and night, everybody except for Frederick. So this is a true story for a lot of animals. In the winter, it's much harder to find food just laying on the ground because it's all snowy. So you got to save up food to eat it during the winter. But Frederick's not doing anything. Usually people don't like that. Frederick, why don't you work? They asked. I do work, said Frederick. I gather sun rays for the cold, dark winter days. Gathering sun rays. I don't know how you collect sun rays. They're getting corn. And when they saw Frederick sitting there staring at the meadow, they said, "And now, Frederick, what are you doing now?" And he says, "I gather colors," answered Frederick simply, "for winter is very gray." So they're getting nuts, it looks like. And once Frederick seemed half asleep, and they said, "Are you dreaming, Frederick?" They asked reproachfully, which means kind of like, reproachful means kind of like you're doing something wrong. And so something like, "What are you doing? I don't think that's right." But Frederick said, "Oh no, I'm gathering words. For the winter days are long and many, and we'll run out of things to say." So he's not doing any work, and they don't like that because they're doing all the work. He's supposed to be sharing in, so I don't think they're really loving this right now. The winter days came, and when the first snow fell, the 5 little field mice took to their hideout in the stones. So there's the snow coming down, snow on the ground. They're there, and then go hide in between the rocks there to stay warm. In the beginning, there was lots to eat, and the mice told stories of foolish foxes and silly cats, and they were a happy family. Everything's going great. That's the beginning of the winter. But little by little, they had nibbled up most of the nuts and berries. The straw was gone, and the corn was only a memory. It was cold in the wall, and no one felt like chatting. They ran out of food already. Well, not ran out, but whatever, they're getting low. Then they remembered what Frederick had said about sun rays and colors and words. "What about your supplies, Frederick?" they asked. "What about all the stuff you collected, the rays and the words and the this and that, the colors?" So here we go. "Close your eyes," said Frederick as he climbed on a big stone. "Now I send you the rays of the sun. Do you feel how their golden glow, ... As Frederick spoke of the sun, the 4 little mice began to feel warmer. Was it Frederick's voice? Was it magic? So he's actually spreading sunshine somehow. I don't know how that works. "And how about the colors, Frederick?" they asked anxiously. "Close your eyes again," Frederick said. And when he told them of the blue periwinkles, I think that's a kind of flower, and the red poppies and the yellow wheat and the green leaves on the berry bush, they saw the colors as clearly as if they had been painted in their mind. So here he is talking about flowers, and this is all their thought bubbles. They're like, ooh, colors, colors, colors. Colors usually make people feel better. "And the words, Frederick?" they asked. Frederick cleared his throat, waited a moment, and then, as if from a stage, he said, "Who scatters snowflakes? Who melts the ice? Who spoils the weather? Who makes it nice? Who grows the 4-leaf clovers in June? Who dims the daylight? And who lights the moon?" Oh, it's rhyming. 4 little field mice who live in the sky. 4 little field mice like you and I. One is the spring mouse who turns on the showers. Then comes the summer who paints in the flowers. The fall mouse is next with walnuts and wheat. And winter is last with little cold feet. Aren't we lucky the seasons are 4? Think of a year with one less or one more. He's a poet there. When Frederick had finished, they all applauded. Yay, they clapped. Oh, nice poem. But then they said, "But Frederick," they said, "you're a poet. You're rhyming." Frederick blushed. That means he got kind of embarrassed. And he took a bow, and he said shyly, "I know it." He knows he's a poet. And that's the end. Yay for Frederick. All right, I have enough time for goodbye song. Yay for me. I did the right timing. Okay, here we go. Get my list. So hopefully I have time to say bye to everybody after I sing the song. Uh-oh, what did I do with my paper? Oh, this is funny. I have to show you this, guys. Look at my dog. He's sleeping so funny, his tongue is sticking out. Do you see it? Oh, that's silly to me. He looks funny. All right, where did I put my list of all the... Oh, here we go. All right, goodbye song. Well, goodbye, Josie. Goodbye, Josie. Goodbye, Josie. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Shay. Shay. Goodbye, Shay. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Henry. Goodbye, Henry. Goodbye, Henry. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Hikaru. Goodbye, Hikaru. Goodbye, Hikaru. We'll see you real soon. Oh, I forgot Henry's brother. Goodbye, Elliot. Goodbye, Elliot. Goodbye, Elliot. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Abby. Goodbye, Abby. Goodbye, Abby. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Izumi. Goodbye, Izumi. Goodbye, Izumi. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Isabella. Goodbye, Isabella. Goodbye, Isabella. See you real soon. Goodbye, Sophia. Goodbye, Sophia. Goodbye, Sophia. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Fanny. Goodbye, Fanny. Goodbye, Fanny. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Shy. Goodbye, Shy. Goodbye, Shy. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Eva. Goodbye, Eva. Goodbye, Eva. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Calvin. Goodbye, Calvin. Goodbye, Calvin. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, baby Noah. Goodbye, baby Noah. Goodbye, baby Noah. We'll see you real soon. All right, I think I made it in time. It didn't cut me off. Thanks everybody for coming. I guess some people. I will see you tomorrow. Have fun for the rest of the day. I miss you all very much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Missy. Kisses, kisses. Hugs, hugs, hugs. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye, Neva. Bye, Shay. Bye, Isabella. Bye, Hikaru.